Good morning, welcome to ABC Yoga. I'm Amy, my husband Bill in the background. And as I mentioned, the cats are a little crazy this morning, so actually one is balancing precariously behind a computer. So
I need to move her.
Yes, please move her. So we're going to start this morning in Supta Baddha Konasana. So the soles of our feet together.
That was close.
Coming onto your backs, turning your palms up towards the sky. And if this position is too strenuous with too much strain on your knees, you can always support with a brick underneath or a large book underneath, or again, just maybe extend your legs out. And so settling here on our backs, let's take a quick body scan from the crown of the head through the body. Notice what's connected to the floor, to the mat. Feeling the soles of your feet together. The clothing on your body. And then we'll draw our awareness to our breath. Feeling the wonderful, beautiful rise with each inhalation. And the relaxation, all of the air out through the nostril on our exhalation. So just for these next few moments, just watch the body being breathed. Opening up our senses. Beautiful. Take another full inhale. Open up the mouth, just gently let it go. Ah. So let's take one more full breath in. A deep sigh, let all that stale air out of the body. Ah. And gently extend your legs. We'll extend our arms out in front of us. Take that beautiful morning stretch out through the fingers and toes. Moving your head side to side. We're going to bend our knees, take our hands behind the backs of our knees, and just massage our back body a couple times. 2 or 3 rocks to a forward fold. So take a nice wide stance, reaching for opposite elbows, hinge from those hip creases, shake out that head. Noticing the 4 corners of our feet. So we want to equally root through our feet through the big toe, our baby toe, inner and outer heel. And maybe add some sway side to side. Shake out that head. Our toes are spread wide. And we'll gently release that left hand in front of you about 18 inches. We'll inhale, reach that right hand high. And after a few breaths here, maybe drop that right hand a little further behind the back body. You're gazing up towards the ceiling, but it's always an option just to look to the floor, taking that tension out of the head or neck. One more full breath in here. And on an exhale, that right hand comes down. And we inhale that left hand high. So you stop where you find that resistance, and after a few breaths, maybe drop that left hand a little further, spin your chest up towards the sky. Again, honoring that head and neck, just taking that gaze towards the floor if it feels better. Take another breath in here. Let's exhale that air out. And we'll interlace our fingers. We're going to take them behind our head, spread those elbows wide, and just getting a little traction to your head and neck. So just spinning it in one direction, taking your time, just working out any kinks. Beautiful. Another breath here. And then gently release the hands to the floor. We'll find our downward dog. So eyes towards the back of the mat. Gently pedal out those feet. And let's activate our core this morning a little further. We're gonna honor Heidi's suggestions for a lot of hamstrings, etc. So let's do a little core work. So we're just going to walk our hands in closer, hover those knees above the mat. And so our shins are parallel, navel in and up towards the spine. So our knees are hovering a couple of inches off the mat. Just lift those right toes. Navel in and up towards the spine. Beautiful. Right toes down. Now hover those left toes a couple of inches off the mat. Beautiful. One more time each side. Those right toes hover, navel in and up towards the spine. Drop those right toes. Beautiful. Left toes hover. We drop them to the mat. Lift those sits bones. Eyes towards the back of the mat. Shake out that head. Steady breathing. And let's just do one more set like that. So again, shoulders over those wrist creases. Those shins hover. You find that flat back body. And just lift those right toes. Maybe take the left hand off the mat. Nice. Right toes down, left toes lift. Maybe take that right hand off the floor. Find that balance. One more time each side. So we're finding that balance, drawing that earth energy up through the palms. Right toes down. Now the left toes hover. Beautiful. Already getting warm here. Lift those sits bones. Eyes towards the back of the mat. Maybe stretch out that downward dog. Walk your hands forward or your feet towards the back of the mat. We'll quickly pedal out those feet. And inhale that right leg up towards the sky. Let's bend the knees, stack the hips. Opening up that hip joint. So nice wide circles, knee circles in one direction. Please change direction. And we'll extend that right leg and just lower it down to the floor. Other side, that left leg lifts. We bend the knees, stack the hips. Make sure that chest is parallel to the floor and some wide knee circles. Drawing that earth energy up through the palms, change direction. And we'll lower that leg down to the floor. Big toes are in that center line. Now we'll lift that right leg high and we'll find that high lunge. So offset the feet, extend the arms up towards the sky. So find that beautiful tall spine. So draw those arms a little closer towards your ears. And we'll find some power lunges this morning to activate that core a little further. So our heart is pitching forward. Those palms are facing towards the center line. So extend those arms behind you, really rooting through that right leg. So we'll take 4 more like that, moving with our breath. On an inhale, we extend the arms up high. Exhale, find that power lunge. Shift that weight forward, weight into the right foot. We breathe in, we extend. Exhale, hands behind you, palms towards the center. Drawing those palms towards one another, opening up those shoulders. 3 more. We breathe in and we breathe out. Last 2. Hands behind you. Last one here, we lift. Hands behind you. Now we're going to push off that back foot into Virabhadrasana 3. So bring your hands to your heart and lift that leg. Beautiful, finding that balance. We're not messing around this morning. Leveling off those hips. Find a slight bend in that right knee to take some pressure off those hamstrings. And then with control, we step that left leg back through high lunge. And we'll take a vinyasa slow, gorgeous. So hands to the floor, right leg back. Pause here in high plank to low plank. Finding a baby cobra, upward dog. Nice, we'll meet in downward dog. Eyes towards the back of the mat. So again, start with those big toes in the center line. That left leg lifts. We step it forward into that high lunge. So come all the way up. So adjusting here, those floating ribs come back. That left hip back, right shoulder forward. We reach those arms up towards the sky. We're gonna find those power lunges again. So we'll extend our hands behind you, palms towards that center. Weight onto that left foot. Engage that right back of the right thigh. And moving with our breath, we inhale. Exhale, power lunge. Find that breath. 4 more like that. Inhale. Exhale. We're breathing. And we're reaching. Gorgeous. 2 more. Finding that breath. Warming up the body. Last one here. We reach. Find that power lunge. Then take your hands to your heart. You're going to push off that back leg into Virabhadrasana 3. So lifting that right leg higher than you think you can. Try to square off those hip points. Now lift that right leg a little higher. Finding that balance, toes spread wide on the left foot. With control, we step that right leg back. Find that high lunge. Gorgeous, nice. And your vinyasa, let's slow it down. Left leg back, high to low. The cobra or upward dog. Downward dog, we pause and breathe. Eyes towards the back of the mat. Rooting the hands and feet to the floor. Soften those knees slightly. Lift through those sits bones. Maybe shake out that head. On an inhale, that right leg lifts. Now we find warrior 1. Left heel on the floor. Inhale, extend all the way up. Opening up those shoulders, take the hands behind the back body. Beautiful. Let's lift our hearts. Open up those palms and allow those palms just to settle on the back of the left thigh. So that right knee is reaching forward. Our heart is reaching up towards the sky. We soften the throat, the jaw. Then we find our silver surfer, crown of the head on the inside of that front foot. So take the hands away from the back body. So imagine you're just pouring out all of those thoughts, letting them go, steering those sit bones towards the back of the mat, but keep tracking that right knee over the right ankle. Beautiful. We take 1 more breath in, let it go. Ride that breath all the way up through warrior 1. Gorgeous, your vinyasa, hands to the floor, right leg back. Let's slow down our vinyasa, high to low. The cobra or upward dog. We'll meet in downward dog. We pause and breathe. Our left leg lifts. We find warrior 1. Right foot on a 45-degree angle, extend the arms up overhead. And then we'll take those hands behind the back body, opposite thumb on top. So we open up our palms. They're gently sliding down the back of that right leg while that left knee keeps tracking over the left ankle. So soften through the throat. Our eyes are bright. That breath is rhythmic in and out through the nose. Then we lift our head and find our silver surfer. So again, you're pitching your heart forward like we did in those power lunges. Slowly letting the head go, crown of the head towards the floor. So let that head be loose, nice. Breathing here. Notice if those hips are blossoming open to the side. Steer them to the back of the mat. And then take your hands a little further away from your back body. Find 1 more full inhale. We let it go. Then we ride that breath back through our warrior 1. Gorgeous. Your vinyasa, hands release. That left leg back, high to low. A cobra or upward dog. We'll meet in downward dog. Pause and breathe. Eyes towards the back of the mat. Shake out the head. Steady breathing. And just walk those toes back into a center line. So that right leg lifts. We find that high lunge again, that crescent lunge. Lines of energy out through the fingertips. So 4 power lunges. So we'll extend our hands out behind you. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, we reach that heart forward. You almost want to be able to lift those left toes off the floor. We breathe in. This is number 3. Hands behind you. Last one, we lift. Take hands behind you, and you'll push off that back leg again into Virabhadrasana 3. So square off those hips. Lift that left leg higher. Find that upward dog in the chest. Breathe in here. On an exhale, we'll step back into that high lunge. Nice. Breathing in here. On an exhale, we just hover that left knee above the mat. Beautiful. Let's breathe in. We lengthen. We soften and let go. Eyes eye level. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more. We lengthen and we surrender. Last one here, breathe in. Breathe out, back through our high lunge and your vinyasa. Take your time, high to low. A cobra or up dog. Downward dog, we pause and breathe. Our toes in that center line. Our left leg lifts. We find our high lunge. Come all the way up. So working on that power lunge, connecting with the core, lines of energy out through the fingertips. We breathe in here. Exhale, pitch your heart forward. Maybe lift those right toes. See if you can find that weight into the left foot. 3 more. We breathe in. We breathe out. Enjoying that breath. Inhale. Nice. Exhale. Last one. We lift. Take those hands behind you. Push off that back leg. Virabhadrasana 3. I bring my hands to my heart center. Now everyone lift that right leg a little higher. Swallow, we're breathing. And with control, we step that right leg back into that high lunge. And on an exhale, we hover that right knee above the mat. Beautiful. Inhale. Nice. Exhale. We're breathing and letting go. Gorgeous. One more inhale. Exhale, that right knee just hovers. We find our way back into that high lunge, that crescent lunge, and then your vinyasa. High to low. A cobra or upward dog. Downward dog. Pause and breathe. Eyes towards the back of the mat. Shake out that head. Slow down that breath. Take another inhale. We'll let it go. Please bend the knees. Step or hop to the top. That halfway lift. Forward fold, Uttanasana. We find that chair pose. Just one breath here. Lines of energy out through those fingertips. Hands to heart center as we fold. Beautiful. We find that halfway lift. Step or jump the feet back. High to low. Cobra or up dog. Downward dog. Exhale. That right leg lifts. We find our warrior 1. Rise. Come all the way up. One more time. Hands behind the back body. Our heart lifts. Open up those palms. Slide those hands down that back thigh. Keep reaching the heart up towards the ceiling. Then draw your chin towards your chest. Silver surfer. Take those hands away from the back body. Open up those shoulders so that right shoulder nestles right in between that right knee. Shake out that head. Take another full breath here. On an exhale, with control, come all the way up. And your vinyasa. Hands to the mat. Maybe a three-legged vinyasa, high to low. A cobra or upward dog. We'll meet in downward dog, pause and breathe. Shake out that head. Other side, the left leg lifts. With control, we find warrior one. Full breath in. Nice, now hands behind the back body. Open up those palms, gently allow them just to trace the back of that right thigh. The sternum, our breastbone is reaching up towards the sky. I'm softening my jaw. Keep reaching that left knee over the left ankle. Then bring your chin towards your chest. Silver surfer or humble warrior. Crown of the head releases. Steer those hips towards the back of the mat. Take your hands away from the back body. Can you nestle that left shoulder right in that inner left, inside of the left knee? One more breath here. Exhale it completely. Then we ride all the way back up. Gorgeous. Your vinyasa. Again, maybe it's a three-legged vinyasa, high to low. A cobra or upward dog. We'll meet in downward dog. Pause and breathe. Eyes towards the back of the mat. Shake out that head. Heels are activated. They come a little closer to the mat. Lifting through those sits bones. One more inhale. Exhale the air completely. We bend the knees. Step or hop to the top. Halfway lift. Fold forward, Uttanasana. We find our chair. Lines of energy out through those fingertips. Spin those palms towards the center. Beautiful. So we'll interlace our fingers. Palms out in front. We find our Uttanasana. That navel is off the thighs. Stretching those sits bones and palms in opposite directions. Back of the neck is lengthening. Stay right here and just lift those heels. Open up the arches of the feet. Let me step back here. Opening up the arches. We find that weight into the balls of the feet. Squeeze those thighs together. Find that balance for 3, for 2, and on 1, heels down. Hands through heart center as we fold. Nice work. We find that halfway lift. Step or jump those feet back. High to low plank. A cobra or upward dog. Downward dog, eyes towards the back of the mat. That right leg lifts. Take the right knee outside the right shoulder. We pause here and extend. Now taking the knee to the nose. Shoulders over the wrist, maybe kiss that knee and push that heel away. Knee outside that left elbow or shoulder. Now kick out that bottom leg, that right leg, weight into the right hand, into our drunken triangle. Lift those hips. Lift everything up. Another full inhale. With control, that left hand down. Lift that right leg high. And we'll lower it down, cycle through a vinyasa. So take high plank to low. Cobra or upward dog. Downward dog, exhale. The rain is really going wild here. It's so exciting. So that left leg lifts. We take the knee outside the left elbow or shoulder. Pause here and extend. Our knee to our nose. Shoulders over those wrists. Maybe kiss that knee and extend. Now the knee comes outside that right elbow or shoulder. Kick out that leg. Weight into the left hand. We peel that right hand up. Now our feet are rooted. That left hand is rooted. Lift everything. Find that breath for 3, for 2, on 1. We watch that right hand. That left hand lifts. That left leg lifts. Beautiful. We'll lower it down. Cycle through your vinyasa, high to low. cobra or upward dog. Downward dog, exhale. Pause and breathe here. Shake out that head. Slow down that breath. Relax, unhinge that jaw. We'll inhale the high plank and spin those heels to the right. Vashisthasana. So I'm going to drop the right knee here, take the modification. Left hand up towards the sky. So your feet are either balanced on top of one another. You can offset it or modify. We're going to take that left hand over the ear, hover that left leg off the floor, and option to take those elbows into knee, warming up the body here. Working on our hamstrings, our abs, our glutes. Let's take 3 more. So again, if energy is low, just come down to that bottom knee. Last 2. So strong. Last one here. We extend. And then just find your way back through high plank. And we'll come into downward dog. Eyes towards the back of the mat. Steady breathing. Shake out that head. We'll inhale the high plank and spin those heels into Vashisthasana on the other side. So I'll take this side, stacking my feet, right hand up, breathing here. So maybe taking the right hand over the right ear or hover that leg off the floor. We draw that elbow in and release. Maybe add a smile to your lips. That our body can do this. We're so lucky. Last 2. The motion is the lotion. Last one. Elbow in with the motion. With the motion is the lotion. Hands to the floor, high to low plank. Cobra or upward dog. We'll meet in downward dog. And a well-deserved child's pose. What a way to get a Thursday started. So hips are heavy, arms are extended, forehead on a brick or towards the floor. And either stay here, melting through the heart, or just take the pressure off the elbows, the shoulders, wrap your hands behind. You can find your heels, soften through the belly, slow down that breath. Quick body scan. Always working on that equal inhalation and exhalation. So if postures are challenging and you're holding your breath, we back up, we modify, or at any time you find child's pose. So you're not quitting, you're honoring where you are. Beautiful. Take 1 more breath in. On an exhale, we'll slowly come onto our hands and knees. We'll find a mini downward dog. So our toes and hands are a little closer than our maximum. We're going to take that right leg, bend the knee. So we're stacking the hips, that right knee is lifted. We come on the ball of that left hand. Stay here. We're working on a balance. Taking that left hand behind towards the right heel, ankle. We're breathing. Nice, and we'll let it go. We'll take the other side. So give yourself a moment here. So we have that shorter stance here in our downward dog. My right foot comes in the center. So we're in that tripod position. Our left thigh is, our left knee is bent, left hip over right hip. Working on your balance, just come onto the right finger pads. And maybe you take that hand behind and find the heel, the ankle. We're still breathing. Nice, 1 more inhale. We let it go. Release the hand and foot to the floor. And keeping your feet hips distance apart, let's walk our hands back towards our toes. Deep bend in the knee. Let's Find our peace fingers around those big toes. We find that halfway lift, our heart reaches forward, nice elbows to the side, crown of head towards the floor. Our shoulders pull towards our hips or draw towards our hips. Find that breath. I'm blossoming open my sits bones. Letting my head be nice and loose. We'll shake it out. 2 more breaths here. Take another full inhale. Let it go. Stay here holding on to your toes, or let's slide our hands underneath. Toes towards those wrist creases. Halfway lift. Beautiful, elbows bend, crown of the head towards the mat. So lifting through those kneecaps, engage those quadriceps. Slowing everything down. More weight into the balls of the feet. Take 1 more inhale. On an exhale, we'll release our hands. Walk your dog forward. Maybe your toes back into that downward dog. So I'll take those toes into a center line. 1 more time, that right leg lifts. Step it forward into that crescent lunge, that high lunge. Arms reach up and over. We're gonna pivot off that back leg into our eagle legs. So that left thigh comes up and over. And then we'll take that left elbow under. So we're sitting tall, breathing here, working on our balance, and we'll pitch our hearts forward and maybe unwrap that left thigh. Finding that Virabhadrasana 3. Right toes are spread wide, eyes straight ahead. Gorgeous. Now with control, we'll take that left thigh back up and over. And then release. Nice. And we'll cycle through a vinyasa. Full breath in. We melt forward, Uttanasana. Halfway lift. Step or jump those feet back, high to low. A cobra or up dog. Downward dog, eyes towards the back of the mat. Those toes are in a center line again. Now our left leg lifts. We find that high lunge, that crescent lunge, come all the way up. So pivoting off that back leg, we'll find those eagle legs, right thigh up and over, and right elbow underneath the left. So we sit tall. Breathe here as we squeeze those thighs together, looking straight ahead. So shift your eyes accordingly. Now we'll pitch our heart forward like we did in those power lunges. We peeled that top leg off. Gorgeous. Breathing here. With control, take that right thigh back up and over. Nice. And then we'll release everything and take a vinyasa. Full breath in. Forward fold, Uttanasana. Halfway lift. Step or jump those feet back, high to low. Cobra or upward dog. Downward dog, eyes towards the back of the mat. So we'll walk our hands back towards our toes. Spin those toes out slightly so we can find our way into Malasana, maybe Bakasana. Stacy, you've got those great balancing postures, so if you want to go into Bakasana, beautiful. Otherwise, those elbows come in our inner thighs, our heart lifts. Breathing here. Slow everything down. Relax your jaw. 2 more breaths. Last full inhale. On an exhale, we're going to take our hands to the floor, lift our thighs, and walk our toes in till we're in like first position in ballet class. So we're going to do some frogs, we did these a couple weeks ago. So I'll just demonstrate quickly. My hands are to the floor. We're bending our knees and then we straighten. So those knees bend over our toes. We lift our legs, working on our inner thighs. I'm counting, opening those knees, lubricating our joints, engage that core. We've got 10 more. Breathing. Last 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1, lift those thighs, and just spin those toes towards the front. We're going to slowly unwind the spine. Head is heavy. I don't know if you can hear that rain. It's so beautiful. Let's open up those shoulders. Nice, and we'll change direction. Nice, one more big shoulder roll. And we'll lift our hands high and bring them to our heart center, Samastitihi. Pause and breathe here. Quick body scan. Slowing everything down. We'll flutter those eyelids open and we'll take a bend in that right knee. So hands interlace underneath that right knee. Let's just draw that knee up towards our chest, working on our balance. And we'll just take that right foot in the inner left thigh. Hands to our heart center. We'll extend those arms up. Nice, and then lower that right hand onto the right knee. And then we'll fan those left ribs open as we just bend over to the right. Stacy, your cat was doing some photo bombing. On an inhale, that right hand goes up. Now that left hand comes down. And we'll bend in the opposite direction. Nice, one more breath here. And we'll draw those left hand up towards the right. So just draw that right knee in, unhinge the knee, little pulses, 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1, we'll find our figure 4 and bring our hands to our heart. So pausing here, or play your edge. So you can ride those elbows down towards that bottom leg. Our heart is lifted, that navel in and up towards the spine. That's it, our hands to the floor. And like an elevator, let's just come back up, floor by floor, take your time.
Elevator.
Well, you're just riding down. And that right knee comes right up one last time, engaging the core. And we'll just draw it to the floor. Let's just shake out that extra energy before we come to the other side. Just let that all go. We'll take the left side. So the left knee bends. Let's interlace it below the knee and just hug that knee as high as you can. We're working on our balance, eyes eye level. And then you'll find that ankle, bring it in the inner right thigh, maybe use the wall, or take it down towards the ankle. We always avoid any pressure around that knee joint. We bring our prayer to our hearts, open up those collarbones, unhinge that jaw. And we'll extend the arms up and lowering that left hand towards the left knee. Those right ribs fan open as you just bend to the left. We're breathing. Nice, that left hand lifts. And let's lower that opposite hand, take it towards the right leg, and then just bend over. Breathing here. We'll take that right hand back up. So we lift that left knee, unhinge the knee, flex the left foot, Notice where that weight is. Pulses 5, 4, breathing 3. We're not looking at the floor. 2, on 1, we find our figure 4. Left ankle on the right thigh. We bring our prayer to our hearts. You can stay standing, or we're bending that right knee. Those elbows are going down slowly, like an elevator, Bill. Just floor by floor. Ding. That's it. Shoes, ding. Lingerie, women's clothing, purses. And then we'll slowly ride it back up. Take your time. Or just, we lift that left knee one last time, working on our core, lower the foot to the floor. Beautiful vinyasa. Sip in the inhale. We melt forward. We lift our hearts. Step or jump those feet back. High to low. Cobra or upward dog. Downward dog, eyes towards the back of the mat. And let's just come on to our hands and knees here. A few cat-cows. So exhale the air out, round that back body, root through the shins. Then as our heart reaches forward, open up our collarbones, lift those sits bones. Then that navel pulls in, our head is heavy. Inhale, open, reach that heart forward. Exhale, pull that navel in. One more, inhale. We exhale the air out. Come back to neutral and just walk those hands towards our knees, setting up for our Ustrasana. So, camel pose, yes, you know your Sanskrit. So I like to always do a set of 2 here, giving my knees a little extra cushion. We'll start with the first Camel Ustrasana with our toes bent, hands by that lower back. Always an option to come to the wall as well to explore Ustrasana using the hips against the wall. So maybe try something different today. Those elbows hug in, those side bodies are lifting, eyes up towards the sky. You can stay supported, or again, play that edge, reaching for those heels. We find that bow in the back body. Shake out that head. In the areas of tightness, we send our breath. So are you struggling, hanging onto that head or neck? If you can safely let it go, soften through the jaw. Again, a good indicator is if you're holding your breath, you're going too far. Please take one more inhale. We let it go. Draw your chin towards your chest. Keep those toes tucked under. We bring our sits bones towards those heels. And we'll take our hands, let's open up our hands by drawing our fingers towards our knees. So again, if this is challenging, you walk your hands closer to the knees. Pull the shoulders away from your ears. As you open up the feet, my pinky toes need a little extra help. So maybe help spread them wide. And let's just turn our fingers in towards the center. Again, pull those shoulders away. I know our dogs are barking. Stay with me. Last 3, 2, on 1. Untuck those toes. Let's tap some energy into them. And we'll just sit on our heels in between Ustrasana. And let's just give our wrists a little more love. So interlace those fingers. We find our figure 8. Bill gets really serious with this figure 8. And we change direction. Nice. Shake out those hands. One more Ustrasana. So this time my toes are untucked. Really root through those shins. A tall spine, hands on that lower back. Our elbows hug in. Take those floating ribs. You want to draw them back into the body. Press those hips forward, eyes towards the sky. Breathe here. If you want to go a little further, maybe initiate reaching for the opposite heel first. Finding that bow in the back body. Let go of it, the head or neck. Breathe here for 3, for 2, and on 1. We slowly come all the way up. Let's just take our hands to the floor. We'll cross our ankles, come onto your sits bones. Feet out in front of you. We're set up for Navasana. So we've been warming up our core. Let's just elevate those shins so they're parallel to the mat here. Breathing here. Maybe extend those legs. Tall spine. Cultivating that breath in our belly. Palms are facing towards the center. 2 more breaths. Looking good. Let's cross our ankles, hands by our hips. We lift. Round number 2. Find that breath. Squeeze those knees together. Yes. Breathing here. Maybe putting a smile on your lips. Nice. 1 more breath. Opposite ankle in front, hands by your hips. We lift. Last one, Navasana. Stay supported or take your hands behind you and we'll just draw those knees in and press those legs away. Breathing. Just mixing it up. Last 3. Last 2. On 1. And we'll just take our feet flat. Let's wrap our arms around our legs. Forehead towards our knees. Slow everything down. Nice, and we'll lift our head. Crossing your ankles, we'll step into downward dog. And we'll extend that right leg up towards the sky into pigeon. Rajakapatasana. So that it's been a long time. Right knee towards that right thumb. Let's start with the left toes tucked under. Our heart is lifted. And then press the toenails to the floor as we walk our hands forward. You can make a pillow for your hands, resting your forehead on the tops of your hands. And just encouraging you to let the hips do the work. It's so easy to power through our forearms and shoulders, but we want to let the hips open breath by breath. So see if you can relax the upper body, squaring the hip points off towards the floor. Two more breaths here. Final full inhale. On an exhale, please lift the heart. Weight into that right hip. We'll find double pigeon. So a couple of options here. You can take that left knee on top of the right, or another option is fire log. So just taking that left ankle on the right thigh, and just make sure that bottom foot, that right ankle is under the left knee. So again, depending upon the opening of your hips is how close that left knee will hover above that bottom leg. So again, hands support you on the sides of you, or maybe take those hands forward, hinging from your hips, just walking forward. Just take your right ear towards your right shoulder. Back to center, left ear towards your left shoulder. And back to center. And we'll walk our hands back towards our legs. And let's just take a twist to the right. And we'll twist in the other direction. And then cycle through a vinyasa, or just meet us in downward dog. So high to low plank, a cobra or upward dog. Beautiful, we'll meet in downward dog. Eyes towards the back of the mat. Left leg, we lift it high. and finding Rajakapatasana, King Pigeon. Let's start with those right toes tucked under. Nice, then we untuck the toes, toenails to the floor. And we'll walk those hands forward, finding that pillow. And always that option with the brick to maybe just rest the third eye, giving a little pressure onto that space right between your eyebrows. Slow down the breath. Licking your lips. Clean your teeth with your tongue. And again, noticing where your pressure is with your upper body, letting those hips open slowly. 2 more breaths here. Final full inhale. We let that go. Then walk those hands back towards the body. Weight into that left hip. We find double pigeon or fire lock. So this time I'm just going to take the double pigeon version, right knee over left, or again, we just find that fire log position. So hands start on the sides, find that equanimity in the body, and maybe explore a little different sensations here. So shoulders soften. Again, I'm going to bring my left ear towards my left shoulder. Then head back to neutral. Take the right ear towards your right shoulder. Back to center. As we walk our hands back to the body, let's take a twist to the right. Nice, and we'll twist to the left. And then unwrapping our legs. We remove that extra flesh and sip in the inhale into Pachimo Tanasana. So extend forward, bend those knees as much as you need to protect those hamstrings, lower back. And let's find our deepest inhale of the morning. So a full breath in, feeling those ribs on the back body lift, let it go. And one more inhale. And let it go. And our heart reaches forward, tall spine, take a deep bend in that right knee, right hand behind you. The left hand reaches high. Take the elbow outside the knee as we twist. So we're flexing that left foot. Our heart lifts on the inhale as we twist to the over the left shoulder on the exhale. Breathe in here. One more inhale. Take a twist to the right. Then we come back to center. Just open up that right knee and we blast off that full frontal opening. Left hand reaches high. Shake out that head. And lower those sits bones down. That right leg extends. We'll shake it out and take a bend in that left knee. Our right hand reaches high. Take the elbow outside the knee as we twist over that left shoulder. Full breath in. And we twist. Inhale. And we twist. One more breath here. Twist over that left shoulder. We come back to center. That left knee opens and reach that right hand high. Gorgeous stretch. And we'll lower those sits bones down. Please extend that left leg. Reach those hands in front of you. Slowly take that back body to the mat. And we'll find that happy baby. So the knees bend, reach for the inner arches of the feet. And last time here, we just rock out that back body. Lick your lips, relax your forehead. Soften through the jaw. And when you're ready, just slowly extend those legs to the floor. Let's turn our palms up towards the sky. Let go of any control of your breathing. Shavasana. We find that next full incoming breath. Just gently side out. And just opening up those wrists, twist them in one direction, change direction. You can move your ankles side by side and take a stretch out through the fingers and out through the toes. As we hug those knees in, we find that fetal position on either side of the mat. Pause here for a breath or two. Then we'll slowly find our way to a comfortable seated position. Eyes soft or closed. Hands at your heart center. Pausing and breathing. And a quote from Eric Butterworth this morning: don't go through life, grow through life. So every opportunity for us, whether it's a challenging situation, it's an opportunity for us to not get angry, but it's a growth opportunity. So looking to see where we can stretch, reach, etc. Just take a moment here to recognize our practice. And the word namaste, meaning the light within me honors and recognizes the light within you. Thank you for joining us for your practice this morning, and namaste. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining. A little cat bomb here with Hannah this morning. Thank you. Nice to see you. Have a great day.